Hi folks, this is Vicki at patternprincess.com. Today I want to show you how to do the ribbed ripple stitch. I have it in an afghan that I'm making, and I'm probably gonna make another one in this stitch. It's so pretty. This here, the sample that I'm going to make you today is in Caron Big Cakes. It's from Yarn Inspirations. It's a number 4 weight yarn. It says to use a H 5.0 millimeter hook, but today for the sample I'm going to be using an I 5.5. Let me get this set up right here, millimeter hook. And so for the sample, actually for the pattern, this is worked in multiples of 14 plus 3, okay? So that means that 14 plus, let's say I double it, 14 plus 14 is 28, plus 3, 29, 30, 31, okay? So that's how, when you work with multiples, that's what that means. So we're going to get our loop on our hook, and then I'll chain the 31, and then we'll get going with row 1. So I just got my loop on my hook. To do a chain stitch, you yarn over, pull it through the hook or the loop, yarn over through the loop. Okay, so I'm going to do 31 chains, and I'm going to meet you right back here. Okay, I have worked my 31 chain stitches. So now what we're going to do for row 1 is we're going to count in the 4th chain from the hook. So we don't count the loop on the hook, but we're going to count 1, 2, 3, 4. So that 4th chain from the hook, we're going to yarn over, and we're going to work a double crochet. So we insert our hook, yarn over, bring it through the loop, yarn over, go through 2 loops, and yarn over through 2 loops. Okay, the first 3 stitches that we skipped, that does count as a double crochet. So now we have what is counted as 2 double crochet. And then in the next 4 spaces, we're going to work a double crochet. So we're going to yarn over, and in the next stitch, we're going to double crochet, just like we just did. There's 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so now we have 2 double crochet here, and then 4 more, so that's a total of 6. Now we're going to create our V space. Okay, it's kind of it's not a sharp V space, it's more of a curved space. So now we're going to yarn over, and we're going to do 2 double crochet together. So in the next 2 stitches, it's like we're going to do a half double crochet, and then finish it off with we're going to yarn over and pull through all the loops. So we're going to yarn over, go through the first chain here, bring our yarn through, yarn over, go through 2 loops, and we're going to stop. We're going to keep that loop on the hook. Yarn over, go to the next stitch, insert our hook, yarn over, bring it through, and then yarn over, come through 2 loops. Okay, now we have 2 double crochets half finished. You see that? And now we're going to yarn over and come through all 3 loops on the hook. And we're going to do that one more time. Yarn over, go through the first loop, and then we bring it through 2 loops, yarn over, go through the next stitch, and yarn over, go through 2 loops, and yarn over through all 3. Okay, now we're going to do a double crochet in the next 4 stitches. So we go 1, and this pattern is a repeat of row 2, so it's not too much. 2, it keeps curling on me, getting in the way of the camera. 3, 4. Okay, now we're going to create the top ridge. So now what we're going to do is in the next stitch, we're going to just work 2 double crochet in that same stitch. So we have 1, 2. And then the next one, we're going to do the same thing. 2 double crochet in the same stitch. 1, 2. Okay, now we're going to work 4 double crochet. I should say double crochet in the next 4 stitches. So here we go, yarn over, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, now we're going to do the 2 double crochet together twice. So yarn over, go through the first loop, or I should say the first stitch, yarn over, go through 2 loops, yarn over, go through the next stitch, yarn over, go through the 2 loops. So we have the 2 double crochet half done. Now we yarn over and we're going to go through all 3 loops. And we're going to do that one more time. Yarn over, do our first double crochet halfway, and then we're going to go to the next stitch, same thing, and yarn over, go through all 3 loops. And now we're going to do a double crochet in the next 4 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4. We have 1 stitch left. We are going to do 2 double crochet in that last stitch. Okay, 1, 2. Now, let me show you how this looks right now. This is row 1 completed. You see it has like a little W look here. I don't know why this one wants to keep curling on me here. There we go. Behave itself. All right, and I'm kind of glad that the yarn was changing color so that you could see a little bit of a difference here in how we made it. Okay, so now we're going to go on to row 2, which is the repeating row. Okay, so row 2, here we go. We're going to chain 3. 1, 2, 3. That counts as a double crochet. Now, in our stitches, we have our, we're going to work our first stitch in the very first stitch right here in the very first loop. This counts as a double crochet, but we're going to have another double crochet in there, just like we did at the bottom here. We ended with 2 double crochet. We always start and end with 2 double crochet in the row, okay? But we're going to be working in the back loop. So this is the front loop. Normally you go through both loops when you're doing stitches. A lot of the times you go through both loops. So there's a front loop and then there's a back loop to this. So we're going to be working in that back loop. So we're going to yarn over and do a double crochet in that back loop only. And this is what gives it that nice little ridge. So there's your double crochet in that first stitch, and then we're going to do 4 more double crochet working in that back loop only. There's 1, 2, and I find if I angle it like this instead of like this, so if you angle it, it's easier to grab that back loop. 3, 4. When you're working your sets of 2 double crochet together, your 2 sets, I count every stitch on the rows, and then that keeps me straight. But all of your stitches, when you work them, will end up above each other, okay? So when you work your 2 double crochet together, it actually makes it look like you're starting in the stitch just before this first one. So right here, this stitch is where I'm going to start my 2 double crochet together. And then you know that that's going to line up right there. So if you ever kind of get off in a row, which I do if I don't count, then you can tell kind of exactly where you messed up. And the same way when you get to the top, that'll line up too. So we're going to go in the back loop and work our half of our double crochet, yarn over, go to the next stitch, back loop, work our double crochet part of the way, and then yarn over, go through all 3 loops. And do it again, 2 double crochet together. Okay, and now we're going to do 4 double crochet in the back loop. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, right here is where we had our 2 double crochet in each stitch. That was our increase to create the top part of the zigzag pattern. So you'll notice that we've already worked into one of those stitches right here. And that first, make sure that you can see this. These 2 double crochet are worked into this stitch. This here is the first stitch that's worked into there. So when you get to the top, you'll know that you're in the right stitch when you work your last of your 4 double crochet right here. So then in this stitch here is where you're going to work your 2 double crochet in that same stitch. So in the back loop, 2 double crochet. And I'm going to just double check to make sure that you see. And then we're going to work the next 2 double crochet. But anyways, I want to make sure that you see a close-up of this. And I'll do 4, and I'll show you how it lines up. 1, 2, 3, 4. Pull it out. So here's our 2 double crochet in each stitch, and right above it, right here, 2 and 2, 2 and 2, all in that same stitch. And here we have our 2 double crochet together. You see how different that looks than a regular double crochet? But all of your stitches should always line up on top of each other, and this will line up on itself here too, okay? I just want to make sure that you see that, because sometimes that part can be confusing. So now we're going to do our 2 double crochet together twice again. And again, this is where the first one is, so we're going to start in that stitch ahead of it. So back loop, and the back loop here, go through all 3, yarn over, our back loop, and our back loop again. There we go. Now we just have 4 double crochet. 1, whoopsies, struggling, 2, 3, 4. Now, in this case, it's the top chain of the first 3 chains that we skipped over. In the future rows, it'll be the top chain of the first chain 3 that you do, because that counted as a double crochet. So right here is our last stitch, and we work in that back loop, and we do 2, whoopsie, double crochet, 2 double crochet. That is the repeating row. But you can start to see that there's a little bit of a ridge, and here's how it looks on the back side. And that's it. That's all that there is to this pattern. Doesn't it look nice? That's your repeating row. So I hope that you enjoy this ripple stitch. And this makes a lovely afghan. That's what I think I'm going to make another one out of this. So enjoy. I think it would be a good scarf too. Take care and make sure that you remember to like, share, and subscribe, so you get future patterns that I come out with. And enjoy your crochet time. Take care.